where your purpose is discovered and your destiny is fulfilled by grace.
It says in Colossians 3 verse 21, it says, "Fathers, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged." Fathers, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged. And when you look at Proverbs 19:18 says, "Discipline your son, for there is hope. Do not set your heart on putting him to death." I read again. "Discipline your son, for there is hope. Do not set your heart on putting him to death." And then the last scripture, Proverbs 19. Let's stop there. I mean, these scriptures is talking to us about the role of a father in a family. I mean, I also say this: anybody can play the role of a father. You don't necessarily have to have a child to play the role of a father. You don't necessarily have to be a man to play the role of a father. Fatherhood is a role. Okay? And so, it's important for us to all listen to this message, because this message is talking to every one of us that will one day play a role of a father in the lives of our children or in the lives of people around you. Because I know it's not every family that has a man in the family. And so that's why the woman also has a role to play sometimes in being a father to their children. Like I said, fatherhood is a role to be played. Amen? But of course, you can only have one daddy. You understand? Daddy has to be a man. Praise God. Now, dictionary defines fathers, because sometimes it's important for us to see what this definition of fatherhood really means. It says, a man who exercises paternal care over other persons. Paternal care means protection and provision. It means a man, I would say, or a woman, who exercises paternal care over other persons. That's why you see a father being someone that exercises care and protection over children. And if he's a single mother, you see a mother, expressing this responsibility over our children. Protection and provision. And if you think about it, this is something that God does for us as his children that is so apparent. God protects us and God provides for us. Of course, we'll take a minute to remember those that died in London fire. It's so sad because a lot of people lost their lives. Obviously, right now they are thinking about something people, but we know from what I heard, that house, that building houses about 600 people, about 120 families, and they were sleeping in the night. So you can imagine all the people that will have died, but because they have not gone to do the count, they can't. Police are very careful; they don't say what they don't know. And so we're talking about nearly hundreds of people have lost their lives. And that's what we also have to always remember, that for us to be alive and to be well, we should give God thanks for it. Okay? And that's one of the rules of a father. A father protects. Our Heavenly Father protects us as his children. Our Heavenly Father provides for us as his children. Our Heavenly Father supplies all our needs as his children. When we talk about needs covers every area. It supplies wisdom to those that are studying, supplies work for those that need a job, supplies money, provisions to those that need it. And it's important for us to give him thanks for it. And same thing for our earthly fathers. And that's why I said we all that are here, that our parents are not here, especially our fathers, we should try and give them a ring. Because these are the things that they were doing when we were growing up. Supplying, providing, protecting, preserving, taking us out, changing our diapers, alongside with our moms, and the rest of it. Pray that the Lord will bless them on our behalf in Jesus' name. Now, there are three types of fathers, and it's important for us to know that there are three types. There is a biological, spiritual, and also Heavenly Father. Now, Heavenly Father is our God that we all know. Jesus even said to us that after Jesus went to be with the Lord, when he resurrected from death, he got to heaven and he came back and he told Mary, the lady that met him when he was going to heaven. He says, "Don't talk to me because I'm going to your Father, my Father, to your God, my God." Simply put, Jesus, the moment he resurrected, declared to us that God in heaven is also our Father. And what that simply means to us is that everything that a father can do for you, God even will do much more than that. Now, can I say this? You cannot receive anything from God, being your father, except you trust him. and expect to take him as your true father. I'm praying that all of us here will take our Heavenly Father as our true father in Jesus' name. Now, in terms of biological father, and that's the one we call paternal parents, Ephesians 6, 2-3. Ephesians 6, 2-3 says, honor your father and mother. Say to your neighbor, honor your father and your mother. Now, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with you and you may live long on earth. Now, every one of us here, if I ask you, do you want to live long on earth? I don't even need to ask because everybody will say yes. Now, God is saying to us that one of the things that can help you live long on earth is to honor your father and mother. But because we're focusing on fathers today, don't forget you have to honor them. Now, there was a time we shared in this church about what honor truly means. Honor goes a long way. It goes farther than what we can ever imagine. Honor means send money to them. Honor means call them for regular basis. Honor means send gifts to them. Honor means, don't let them ask you things before you give to them. Think about, go ahead and think. In fact, sometimes call them and find out from your siblings if they are still with them or from whoever is still with your fathers. Ask them, is there any particular need that daddy needs? There was a time, talking about mom, because my dad has gone through with the Lord. One day, my mom, I called her and then she was struggling with her phone that she can't hear properly. So one day I asked my sister, I don't even know whether, I think I asked my sister that, is mom's phone okay? Say, mom's phone. She doesn't see clearly, when, thinking. She doesn't see her phone clearly. I'm using iPhone 7 Plus. Okay, there, 7 Plus. I'm using top range phone. My mom is struggling to hear me over the phone. Meanwhile, here I'm choosing, just enjoying. That shouldn't be. And I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of many of us here. Our parents are struggling, but yet we're enjoying all the top range of stuff here. Now, there's nothing wrong for you to enjoy here, but you must always remember these people. They suffered for us. Say to them, they suffered for us. Now, if you know that I had children, I will not remember how they suffered for us. But now that I have children, I can see what they have, what they went through for us. Amen? And so, biological father is very important. Honor them so that you can live long. Now, spiritual fathers is also another type of father. Now, the example of this is our pastors, the people that God has placed over us spiritually. Ephesians 6:1 says, children, Ephesians 6:1 says, children, obey your parents in the Lord. Now, this is not talking about your physical parents. Talk about your parents in the Lord. So, for example, your pastor, our regional pastor is like a parent in the Lord. And I shared a bit of what he asked me to do the other time. I had to, listen to him because he's my parent in the Lord. Okay? And the Bible says, for this is right. Hebrews 13:17. Hebrews 13:17 buttress this point. It says, obey those who rule over you and be submissive, for they watch out for your soul, as those who must give account. Let them do so with joy and not with grief, for that will be unprofitable for you. Basically, what this scripture is saying is that those that God has placed over you, your leaders, your pastors, and the rest of it, obey them and don't let them do it with grief. Thank God, everybody in this church, they don't stress their pastor. That's why I love pastor in this church. But I know some other churches, the pastor, when they come like this, is removing fumes. Now there's no film, what I'm saying. But stressed. Because when he comes to church, the usher is fighting him. The head of the clinic, the trustees have problem with him. Everybody just, But thank God it's not so with this church. That's why it's important for us to ensure that people that God has placed around us to lead us and to guide, to be fathers over us, we should ensure that we make them feel comfortable. And I pray that God would help us be able to do that in Jesus' name. Amen. Now, the last one which I said is God, our Heavenly Father. Now, John 20 verse 17 says, just to buttress that point as well, John 20:17 says, Jesus said unto her, touch me not, and this is the scripture that I referred to earlier on, for I am yet to ascend to my Father, but go to my brethren and say to them, I ascend unto my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God. Now, one important point that I want you guys to pick up, not to miss out on this message, is the fact that Jesus wasn't just telling the lady, which is Mary, that I sent to my Father, go and tell my disciple that I sent to my Father, their Father, my God, their God. He wasn't just telling them for telling sake. He was telling them because of an important fact. And the fact is that, beginning from that point on, you can call God Abba Father. You can look up to heaven and cry to God as your Father. Whatever you're going through, can you imagine? We all have a father. We all came through a father. There's nobody that just came like that. Everybody came through. So we all know what fathers do. It means that whatever your earthly father can do, it means that God the Father is saying, I will do the same for you and do even more. And so what I'm saying is that From that point on, from this scripture, John 20 verse 17, Jesus told us that you can now look up to heaven and demand the responsibility of a father from God in heaven. It means that you can ask him confidently whatever you want him to give to you. I mean, my son, for some of us that have children, you go past ice cream van and see what your children will do. I mean, I can tell you what they will do. They will point, "Daddy, ice cream," and God helps you if you don't buy it for them. You would be practically dragging them to where you're taking them to until you buy the ice cream. My point is this: you can practically point to ice cream and say, "Father in heaven, I want ice cream, and I'm not leaving." God is looking for children that will be like that will demand stuff from him. He wants you to demand from him. He is your father. We know how we will sit on our father's lap, step on their head sometimes, kick them sometimes. Now, I'm not saying you should kick. Don't try and kick God on your own. But my point is this: you know the way we play around our children. I mean, our children play around us as fathers. You can do the same thing. For some of us that are not married, you know how you used to do with your father. That is the thing that God is expecting you to do with him. He wants you to be free around him. He told us, says, "Come boldly to me." I know, yes, you have sins, but come boldly to the throne of grace. To obtain what? Grace and mercy. Come boldly because you're coming by the blood of Jesus. Jesus has actually come in and ensured that what will cause a separation between us and God, he had dealt with it, which is sin. And he's given us his own life. He now says you cannot come boldly to God the Father. Some of us can't even ask God something that is very big. You are afraid. You think I won't answer. Who told you? It doesn't matter what my son would have done to me. If he asked me for something, you think I'll turn my face? If I sometimes when I yell at him, as he's walking away, I'm practically nearly following him. He did something, annoying to me, but because I don't want him to be sad. Each time you see me, some of you know in this church. Each time I have a mirror that I used to look his eyes. Now I have to buy 2 mirrors, but Joshua is looking at me. Daddy, you're looking at my brother. Basically, I'm always watching over him. Is he okay? Each time when I see him, look, Imad, are you okay? That's what our Heavenly Father wants to do with you. But you're so far from him. You're so afraid of him that I can't even talk to you. He wants you to come boldly. Ask him boldly. You think I will ask God for a Bugatti? I will ask him. Some people say, that's too fleshy. Sit down there. I'll drive it past you one day. It doesn't stop you from being spiritual. Ask him. He says, before you ask, I will answer. While you're here speaking, I will hear you. But yeah, we don't even open our mouth to ask him. He is your father. Say to your neighbor, God is your father. You can't pay your bills, ask him. You can't pay your school fees, ask him. You don't have an idea, you want to start a bill, you don't know what to do, ask him. Knock on his door. Jeremiah 3 verse 33. What did he say? Can somebody please quote that for us? Jeremiah 3:33. You should know it offhand. Yeah, please go ahead. We have to start new Bible study. Yes? Okay, all right. Somebody find it for us whilst I continue talking. The idea is that God is saying to us, he says, ask. Don't be afraid to ask. Yes? Okay, somebody that found it. Please read it up. Let all of us say please. Thank you. Yes? Sorry? Jeremiah 3. Sorry, Jeremiah 3:3. Sorry. Apologies. Yes. Yeah, go ahead, anybody? Yes, and show you which thou knowest not. Yes. God is saying to us, says, call upon me and I will answer you. And I will show you things that you don't know. Things that you've never seen before. Things that you desire that your hand cannot reach. I will show you how to get there. But God is saying, you've got to do the work of calling unto me. Matthew 6:9 says, after this manner, therefore pray, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Now Jesus was teaching disciples on how to pray. He says, now you should pray this way. Our Father, not just my Father, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be your name. You have the right to call him a father because Jesus has given you the right and also taught us how to do that. Deuteronomy 6:5 says, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. Now, obviously, When we're talking about demanding from God and getting whatever you want to get from Him, calling unto heaven, knocking on heaven's gate, and the rest of it, Jesus is saying to us, or the scripture is saying to us in Deuteronomy 6 verse 5, Deuteronomy 6 5, it says, you shall also love the Lord your God with all your heart. And so, you've got to reciprocate God's extension of His arm by showing Him love. And how do you show God's love? Just obey Him. I know it's difficult to obey God fully, but you've got to try to obey Him, because that's the way in which you can show Him love. And I pray God will help us in Jesus' name. Now, we'll just run through a few characteristics of our Heavenly Father. And these are also characteristics of our earthly Father. Or should I say, these are things that our earthly Father should do for us, or should have done for us, or what we men in this room should do for our children. And of course, women, like I said, if you have to play the role one day as a father figure, this is the sort of thing you also need to learn. Okay? And the first one is that our God, Heavenly Father, He gives good and perfect gifts. He gives good and perfect gifts. And it's important to you for you to know that He gives good and perfect gifts. Emphasis on good and the perfect. Your Heavenly Father will not give you something that does not cost Him. He won't. He will always give you things that will cost Him. And that's why He always begs us to think big, not to think small. Yet, yes, your beginning may be little, but where you're going, your latter days will become big. And I pray that will be our portion in Jesus' name. Amen. And so it says, God gives good and perfect gifts. And He's saying to us from the scripture as well that fathers in the house and those that will be fathers soon, you should always do that as well to your children. Always give good and perfect gifts to them. That is, don't just give them anything and anything. They want to go to school, get them into the best school. Now, most of us will say, there's no money. Yes, there's no money. But there is money. You know where money is going to come from? From heaven. Your Heavenly Father that is saying to you that you should give good and perfect gift will provide for you. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. You must ensure that you be like your father in heaven. And let me give you an example. In scripture, James 1:17. James 1:7, it says there, in James 1:7, it says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from Father of light, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. He gives good gifts. Hence, when people say, oh, does God give sickness? You know, God has made me. God doesn't give sickness. You may fall sick, but God doesn't give you sickness. Because the Bible says He is the Father of light, whom there is no variableness, no shadow of turning. He is light. So anything that represents darkness doesn't come from God. Don't let anybody lie to you that, that thing you're going through, that trouble you're going through is from God. He doesn't give it to you. The devil is the agent of evil. Rather than God giving you evil, sickness or evil, He actually tries to solve it for you. And so you've got to trust God. Many times people have told us several times that you're going through that stuff because God has placed it there. God doesn't place it there. Because He only gives good and perfect gifts. Now God can test you. God can use your trial to test you. Do you understand? So you're going through pain. God can use it to test you, but God didn't place it there. Because He only gives good and perfect gifts. And for us as fathers, like I said, your son or your children wants to go to, throughout their course of studies, ensure that you look out for the best for them. And God will provide in Jesus' name. Okay? Because you see, if you put them into a place where you feel, oh, I don't have money, so let me just put them into that place. Sometimes there are some schools that really you shouldn't put your son, because they're going to learn something that will last in them and with them forever. There was a time I went through, I was counseling a son of a pastor, and this guy has chosen a life that he shouldn't have chosen. And when I spoke to him, he told me, from what I gathered, he learned that behavior from school. That's why you have to be careful where you send your children. There are some places that is no-go area. So don't use money or cash flow to determine where you send your children. Your Heavenly Father will provide. So send them to the best. In fact, sometimes you don't even need to pay for it. How many of you know that there's not everything you pay for? You'll be shocked. You send your children to I've told you a story. I went to a place to ask my wife out. We got to the door. Of course, I couldn't pay for the food there. You know that, you guys know the story. I couldn't pay for it because it's very expensive. But I just wanted to ensure that I asked her out in a beautiful place. You know what I'm saying? So I asked her out by the door area. So I wanted to come out of the door. The manager saw us, called us in. The manager eventually told us to come in, and they gave us whatever we wanted to eat on the hotel. What I'm saying is that if you want something for yourself, go for it. God is waiting for you there. But if you say, because I don't have money, I can't pay this, I can't do this for my children, then you're shortchanging yourself. Say to them, but don't shortchange yourself. Now, the other thing that God does is that being a father, remember we were talking about him giving good gifts and perfect gifts. He gives exactly what he promised. If God has said it, he will do. The Bible says, as he said it, will he not do it? As he spoken it, will he not make it good? Whatever God has promised, he will do. Now, some of you, God has spoken to you several years ago. When you were growing up, you had a dream that you became blah, blah, blah. Some of you had a dream that God, that you became, you had something that is so beautiful. And then now you look back, it's about 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, you have not received it. It is coming. If God has said it to you, it will come. You all know the story. How long did it take Joseph to become Prime Minister of Egypt? How long? 30 years or so. It took him years. How long did it take Moses to go and deliver the children of Israel? It took him 80 years. He had another 40 years of training. What I'm saying is that if God has said it will come to pass, it may take time. Don't worry about time. You will lay hold of it. But if you give up on the way, then you will receive it. Our God keeps to his promise. If he says he will do it, he will do it. If he says it's coming, it's coming. As God said to any of you here that I'm coming to sort your problem, I said it to you, he will come. Say to the boy, he's coming. But the only problem is that when he comes, will he find you where he asks you to wait for him? He says, I'm coming, I'll give you the best husband that you can never ever imagine. And whilst you're waiting, you think, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. Man, my sister got married at year 5. I want to beat the record. I don't want to be the last one. Then you go and look for a man for yourself. And then you still wait for God. Somebody did that in the scripture and he lost his kingdom. Who was that? Saul. They were going to fight war. Samuel, prophet, was meant to be the one to come and do the sacrifice to God so that they can win the war. Saul waited first day. The guy was so battle hungry. He wanted to go to and kill people. Don't even know we can. Okay, anyway, when I get to it, I'll ask him. He wanted. He didn't want to wait for Samuel to come and do the sacrifice that he only can do. He thought this man is wasted. I think it was the second day or so. He just thought, let me do this. He went ahead and sacrificed to God. And when Saul now came, in fact, I don't even think he has finished doing the sacrifice when Saul showed up. When Samuel showed up, the priest that was meant to do the sacrifice. And Samuel got there. He looked at him, just said, man, you just lost your kingdom. He lost the kingship and his entire kingdom because of disobedience, because he couldn't wait. Say to your neighbor, wait for God. If he says, I am coming, I am coming. It doesn't matter how long it takes. That's why I'm not in a hurry. My wife knows me, I'm not in a hurry. Now, naturally I am, you know what I'm saying? But spiritually, I am not. Because I know that I won't die poor. I know that every good thing that God has promised me, I will lay hold of them. And same for you all in the name of Jesus. Now, the other thing is that God doesn't make a U-turn on his promise. He doesn't make a U-turn. He will always bring it to pass. Now, second point. We're looking at characteristics of our Heavenly Father. The other point is that he needs you to communicate with him. Say to the boy, he needs you to communicate with him. Now, that's something about God. God needs you to talk to him. And Luke 11 to 13. Luke 11 to 13 says, if a son asks bread of any of you that is a father, will you give him, or will he give him a stone? Or if he asks a fish, will he for a fish give him a serpent? Or if he asks an egg, will he offer him a scorpion? If ye then being evil know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Heavenly Father give the Holy Spirit to them who ask him? Now, he says, how much more will the Heavenly Father give the Holy Spirit to them who ask him? Now, God is saying to us here that if you ask me, I will give you. Matthew 7 to 8 says, ask and it shall be given you, seek and you will find, knock and door shall be opened for you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks, the door will be opened unto him. John 16, 23, 24. Just wanted to share this scripture so that you guys know that the truth about God is real. It says there in John 16, 23, 24, it says, and in that day you will ask me nothing. Most assuredly I say to you, whatever you ask the Father in my name, he will give you. Until now, it says, you have asked nothing in my name. Ask, and you receive, that your joy may be full. How many of you want your joy to be full? I believe every one of us. The Bible is saying to us, it says, until now you have not asked me. after this message, I'm going to ask us to ask God for some things. Feel free to ask him whatever. Don't say, oh, that one may be too much for God. No, it's not too much for God. God is saying, until now you have not asked me anything. All that you think you've been asking, they are not requests. They are all small things that your Heavenly Father can do for you here. Ask God for something that is beyond your own comprehension. I'm praying that will be your portion today in Jesus' name. Because you're going to ask God and communicate with him effectively. Now, don't forget that when you're communicating with God, he wants you to speak to him and he wants you to wait and hear him back. And that's why it's important for you to spend time in God's word. Say to your neighbor, spend time in God's word. See, because you cannot communicate with God without spending time in God's word. God, how many of you have seen God before? Obviously nobody. Okay? The way you communicate with him is through his word. And so when you ask him, Lord, I want this, try and ensure that you are always in his word. Okay? Because he will say something back to you. Now God can speak to you. As I'm talking to you now, I'm sure God is speaking to some of you here. God can also speak to you when you open your Bible and begin to read. Sometimes when you're listening to audio Bible, you hear God. Sometimes when you're listening to a message via the media, you hear God. Sometimes you're even just reading text, or WhatsApp being sent around, you're hearing God. God speaks all the time. So he wants you to find time to read from him. Find time to wait and listen to him. Find time to communicate with him. Because that is what a father wants. A father, is not a father, or should I say a son is not a son, a daughter is not a daughter, if you're not in good communication with your father or your parents. You've got to communicate with them. Yes, sometimes our parents do things that we don't like. Yes, I agree. But see, they are still your parents. Bible says, honor them so that you can live long. So because you want to live long, just ensure that you whatever they've done, just forgive them. Say to them, forgive your parents. For those that need to. Now the third point, because I have to rush, is that God protects. God protects. Now, don't forget, I said some of the things that God is doing for us is for us to do it to our earthly father as well. So when we talk about communication, ensure that, like I said, call your parents, your father in particular, and wish them Father's Day. Honor them, send them money, send them stuff. Okay? All right. He protects. So Psalm 121 says, it says in Psalm 121, I will lift up my eyes to the hills. From whence cometh my help? Or comes my help? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not allow your foot to be moved. He says, he will keep you, will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve you from all evil. He shall preserve your soul. The Lord shall preserve your going out and your coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. In Jesus' name. And so, this scripture is telling us, kind of listing the things that God does for us. But it says, you have to first lift up your eyes unto the hills, to your Father. And it says, this same Father, he will send help to you. He will not allow your foot to be moved. He will keep you from slumbering. He will not sleep nor slumber, because he will keep his eyes open to keep you alive and healthy and protected. He says, this Lord will ensure that, he will keep you from the Lord is your shade at your right hand. So he will not allow any sun to strike you, nor the moon to strike you. He will preserve you from all evil. And so we have to realize that God is interested in protecting you. He's interested in ensuring that you live well. He's interested in ensuring that you do not fall into the traps of the enemies. As we're talking, the enemy wants to destroy people's lives. But as the enemy is planning, God will ensure that you don't walk into those plans. And that's why we have to see God as your Father, because he wants to do all this for you. Another point that we need to know is that God cares for us. God cares for us. 1 Peter 5:7. 1 Peter 5:7 says, casting all your cares, all your anxiety, all your worries, all your concerns, once and for all on him. For he cares for you affectionately and cares about you watchfully. Now this is 1 Peter 5:7. It's saying to us that God cares for us. And he's saying to us that our role in this care, business of care, is cast all your anxieties, all your concerns. Say to him, all. It's not just some of your anxieties, some of your concerns, all of them. And as I'm standing, I have a lot of concerns. Financial concerns, this one, that one, future, blah, blah, blah. How do I get that? Do I solve that? Do I pay this? Customers are chasing me, clients are chasing me, enemies are chasing me as well. The Bible is saying to me, it says, cast all of them onto me. It says, all your worries. It says, once and for all. Because I care for you affectionately and care about you watchfully. And this is God saying to you. He says, all those trouble you're going through, he said, you don't have an idea how much I care for you. And say the only reason why you're struggling with those things in your hands or those challenges because you're not casting them to me. You're trying to solve them by yourself. You're trying to get rid of that challenge by yourself. He says, why don't you try and cast it to me? All of them, not some. And see if I do not solve them for you. Now, the interesting about God is that when you cast all your troubles to God, sometimes it may look as though God is not coming. How many of you have felt that before? Children, the Hebrew children, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, he told them to bow down to the king, but they refused to bow down. So they say, oh, you're not bowing down. Okay, we're going to put you in the fire. And so they chuck these guys into a furnace that is burning, I'm sure, over 2,000 degrees. By the way, the people that died in that fire, I heard that there was a part of that building that was 1,000 degrees centigrade. I mean, 1,000 degrees centigrade would nearly melt iron, if not melt iron. 100 degrees centigrade is boiling point for water. So when you finish boiling your water, how many of you have tried to pour the water in your hand before? Don't try it. Your hand will just smolder. Imagine 1,000 degrees. So sometimes when I think of what they went through, I just thought, man, these people, they went through a lot. I pray that Lord will watch over their families as well in Jesus' name. And that will never happen again in this country and in the families, all the families that will belong to in Jesus' name. Now, coming back to the scripture, it says, if you can do this, then I'll watch over you affectionately and watchfully. Now, he wants to take all your challenges on your behalf, but you have to let go. Say to anybody, let go. You have to let go. If you don't let go, you don't see God at work. If you don't let go, you don't see God at work. And letting go means stepping out. I mean, remember the story. The children of Israel, they got to the Red Sea. They looked behind them. The Egyptians were chasing them. They were chasing them really, really hard. And the look on their left is desert. Look on their right is desert. Look in front of them was a sea. They knew they can't turn back because they are going to be killed. And so they thought, what are they going to do? Of course, they all cried to Moses, Moses, do something, do something. And then Moses looked up to heaven. And then Moses cried unto God, God, what should we do? And God told them, tell them to go forward. And what happened? They stepped out, stepped forward. Now let me say this to you. If they didn't step out, the sea wasn't going to part. The sea was not going to part to anybody until they stepped out. It means that they saw the Red Sea, or the sea. The sea is not red, it's just sea. You know what I'm saying? That's just a name for it. As they stepped out, the sea started parting. My point is this. If you don't step out, if you want God to do something for you, you have a part to play, and God watches you to see whether you're going to step out. And so all the things we're going through, God is waiting for you to see whether you're going to step out. If you want him to show care for you, you want to see whether you're going to trust him. You want to see whether you're going to take that step, that bold step of faith first. If you can do that, then you see God at work. I'm praying that Lord will grant us grace to step out in faith in Jesus' name. And then the thing about it is that when you're worrying, always remember that God neither sleep nor slumber. It means that God doesn't go on break. He's always working on your case. As we're sitting here, for all the trouble most of us are going through, God is working on those cases, on those issues. He's working on those issues. And you've got to trust that he is working on them. And then, of course, the last point is that God will give you his best. Say to him, Lord, he will give you his best. So just remind us of what we've shared. We're looking at characteristics of Heavenly Father, which should be our own characteristics as well as a father here on earth. One, he gives good and perfect gifts. Secondly, he needs you to communicate with him. Third, he will protect you. And then he will care for you. And then last point, he will give you his best. Luke 11 verse 13. Luke 11 verse 13 says, if ye then being evil knows how to give good gifts unto your children. He says, how much more shall your Heavenly Father give the Holy Spirit to them who ask him? Now, God was saying to us here that if we, fathers on earth, knows how to give good gifts to our children, and trust me, we know how to do that. Even without having money, we know how we go out of our, without having a lot of money, go out of our budget to try and get something really nice for our children. And God is saying, if you can do that to your children, imagine me, your father, Heavenly Father. He says, how much more will I give the Holy Spirit to those of you who ask him? Who is the Holy Spirit? Who is the Holy Spirit? John 14, 16 and 17 says to us about the Holy Spirit. John 14, 16 and 17 says, I will ask the Father, and I will give you another comforter, counselor, helper, intercessor, advocate, strengthener, and standby, that he may remain with you forever. The Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, welcome, take to heart, because it does not see him or know or recognize him. But you know and recognize him, for he lives with you constantly, and he will be in you, and he will be in you. Now, God is saying to us that I, your heavenly Father, I know how to give good gifts to my children. And he says, I will give you the Holy Spirit. And the truth of the matter is, a majority of us, if not all of us, that as long as you're born again, he's already giving you the Holy Spirit. Now, who is this Holy Spirit? Now, Holy Spirit is someone that God has sent to us to help us succeed. Say to neighbor, Holy Spirit has come to help you succeed. And many of us are not tapping into that gift that God has given to us. That gift of his best. Holy Spirit has come to help us. The Bible says he will remind you of all things for those that are studying. He will teach you all things for those that are doing business or career. He will open doors to you. The Holy Spirit will beautify your life. He says it will encapsulate you and deliver you to Jesus on that last day. Holy Spirit will do several things for you. But until you know him, you cannot receive from him. You won't even know he's around you. Until you embrace him, you won't see his impact. Holy Spirit wants to guide you all the time. He wants to ensure that you are at the right place at the right time. He wants to ensure that you don't enter a plane if that plane has been marked to crash by the enemy. He ensures that you don't marry wrong. He ensures that you bring peace to your home. He ensures that, see, sometimes when you have issue with your husband or your wife or, your siblings, Holy Spirit can actually talk to them on your behalf and bring peace. But some of us we don't engage him. God has given us his best. Holy Spirit can make you rich, just in case you don't know. You want a contract. Holy Spirit will say, don't worry, wait. He will go and talk to the richest person that he knows in your city. And that person will come to your door and knock and say, something don't mention your name to my heart. And they gave me this address to come and give you this check of £1 million. People don't know that the Holy Spirit can do some wonderful things. He can. That's why he was sent. We all remember the miracles that Jesus did. Jesus walked on water. He caused Peter to walk on water. Jesus fed 5,000 people, not counting women and children. And by the way, if you don't know, women go to church more than men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Yeah. All right? Yeah, go to other churches. Women, plenty. They love the Lord. Now, in those days, they don't count women and children. Now, they say 5,000 men. You know how many women will be there? At least 1,500. And their children, they don't want to have children, a lot of children those days, because there's no, how do you do that when you control? There's no birth control, who cares? They just give back, And so, plenty, Jesus fed them, miraculously, from 2 fish and 5 loaves. And another time, it wasn't even long after that, he fed another 4,000 men, no counting women and children as well. What I'm saying is that Jesus that did all that, you know what he told us? He says, I'm going to the Father, but I'm going to send you another kind of me. And he will talk about the Holy Spirit, who will be with you and live with you forever. He's saying to us that the things that you've seen me do, he says you will even do much more. How many of you remember that? He says the miracle that they told disciples, he said you do much more. Why are they going to do much more? Because the person that is sending, Holy Spirit, is the same Spirit that operated in his own life. The same Spirit. So God is saying, as we're seated here, the Holy Spirit that operated in my life, that made me to do all that I did when I walked on earth, is in you as well. But you're not exploring what the Holy Spirit can do in your life. I want to encourage, beginning from today, explore. Because God has given you his best. There's nothing else God will give you. He's giving you his best. And he's with you now. But talk to that best. Ask him. Tell him to help you. Communicate with him. Ask him to touch somebody's heart for your sake. Pray. When you pray every day to God, you're actually building up yourself in the Holy Spirit. You're building up the Spirit of God as in you to take more control of your situation and your life. I'm praying that beginning from today, we'll begin to see the Holy Spirit as God's best in our lives in Jesus' name. Amen. By the way, you need to know that the Holy Spirit speaks. Acts 13 verse 2. He creates. Genesis 1:2. I love that one. That means whatever you want God to do for you, just ask him. The Holy Spirit is ready in your life to create it for you. Creating means it's not there before, but they can make it happen for you. They say there's no more job. Why don't you ask God? And then know that as you're asking God, the Holy Spirit is going to create that job. And then they will call you and say, oh, there's a space for you. They say there's no more accommodation. Who told you? Somebody will just check out for your sake, because the Holy Spirit will cause them to move out for your sake. He said the Holy Spirit also, he gives gifts. 1 Corinthians 12:18. I love that as well. He intercedes. He teaches. He guides. He encourages. He empowers. He gives joy. I want to encourage you. beginning from today, begin to see the gift that God has given to us, the best that God has given to us, as a person living in your life. And as you do that, you begin to see his benefits in Jesus' name. Now, can we rise up to pray?
Join us or connect with us on social media. You can also visit our website, gracehaven.org.uk.